Well, I'm sorry. Sorry that I can't make the market do what I want it to do. What we all wanted to do. Dawn, Jason, Tar, Rex, Diane, Will, Dan, Starstones, welcome. I don't recognize your name. David, Wade, Doris, Maurizio, Ted, Ivan, welcome everybody. And this is the 30 Minutes of Awesome show. Dun 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 dun. So we've got the jobs report coming up on Friday. We've got happy birthday to somebody special. And 30 minutes of your requests will be in order. So before I get there, we'll go through a few things and hit a few highlights. And yeah, me too, Don. I mean, I tried to urge the cautionary tale. S5FI, S5TH, S5TW, everything looking a little sketchy. And there's another S5FI warning that just came through on my phone. Right there. We'll look at them. I don't like days like today. I was down quite a bit of money myself. I'm sure that many of you were too. It was a rough freaking day. And if you got the pitchforks, let me know now. I didn't tell anybody to take any trades. In fact, I think I urged caution and spoke about how this morning about how Nvidia might take a big downturn, and well, just basically set the record for the biggest market cap loss in one single day, taking that crown away from Facebook from a couple years back. And this may just be getting started. Gurgavin on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, I said that wouldn't it be funny? I guess he was being sarcastic, but kind of truthful at the same time. Wouldn't it be funny if Nvidia just made its all-time high forever? Entirely possible. Entirely possible. I think somebody mentioned that might be the case, similar to the way Cisco operated back in 2001. Anybody remember that? Anybody out there? Anyway, David, Laura, Pamela, good to see everybody. Now, as I said, the jobs report coming out later the week. I kind of been touching on that briefly. Are they going to tell the truth? You got me. You got me. Let's go back to actually this week, not November. And we rolled down to Friday. We've got the jobs report. It's the monthly jobs report. Non-farm employment right there. Dun, 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 dun. Unemployment rate, that stuff right there. We get this all before the FOMC meeting comes out in 2 weeks here. Right there. That'll be the last one before the election. Craziness. So the next FOMC will be basically start the day after the election. Right there. So I remember Cisco well. I'm not even that old. I mean, Cisco popped up briefly, became the most valuable company in the world. And then it's never been back. Never been back. So that is a good question, Scott. Do we bounce back tomorrow? I'm not going to sit here and profess I know what the market's going to do at all. I will present some evidence, give you some levels, and we'll talk about it. Now, that, home of the Texas Stock Exchange, that goes live, next year, I think? Goes live, we'll see. And U.S. Robotics, of course I remember, modems, man. It's USR modems. They came out with the 78.6 or whatever, which was just a scam. It was really just a 33.6 with modulation to make it appear like it was faster in certain instances. 56K modem, and I actually had ISDN subscriber, digital subscriber line. And I think if you Google me, that the phone number for that line may still show up as me in some databases or whatever. I no longer have that phone number for a long time. Anyway, So there we go. That's jobs report coming out on Friday. if they tell the truth, we lost jobs. If they make up some stuff, we'll gain more jobs. You know, they just came out with a revision 2 weeks back. Almost a million jobs, 800, what was it? 820, 830,000 jobs missing out of the reports. Oops, rounding error. Oops. Anyway, so birthday. Anybody guess whose birthday it is? It's not the boss's. It's my oldest girl child. It's her birthday today. The girl child. That's it cracks my wife up when I call her the girl child. Anyway, my oldest is 26 today, I think. Golly, where does the time go? Anyway, happy birthday to her. And moving on, I'm gonna go through the market a little bit. I don't know. I don't think she's on the stream. I don't see Kimberly or Karen on the stream today. Anyway, if they are, happy birthday. So y'all can pass it along. And I don't think she's in Discord either. My daughter. So water. Those of you that have been to town and met her, she wasn't at the thing in June. She was in January. So if you came in January, you got to meet her. And she might be at the next one. We'll see. So, all right. She was running summer camp in June. So, happy birthday to her. And let's go hit the red list, shall we? Check it out. So, starting out with the S&P 500 futures here. We dipped down into the rest of the correction. I guess that's what you might say here. We got, from over here, we just dipped down to the 1618. And from right here, let's see, it was right. I think it was that level, that level, that level. Yeah, right down to the 272 there. And where was the other one? Trying to remember how I had this set up in the other platform. Oh. And that was right. Nope, not that one. That one's way past it. We're back in the red zone, as David Skaggs, you were asking me. We're back in the red zone, and the 618 right there. We have commonly seen a retest of that zone, and when we look at the S&P 500, we left a gap, and I speculated that we might go fill that gap all the way back here last Thursday. Am I proud of the fact that I kind of almost got this right? No, not really. Do I hope we'll just leave this gap the way it is? We just basically back tested the top of the gap. I hope that's kind of how we leave it. Honestly, I went long right before the close with 7-day out call for 561 on XSP. XSP 561. So right here would be my call. Right there at that level. 7 days out. Cost me $1.70. See what happens. If we rip right back up where we were just, Friday. I mean, one day. What a difference one day makes, right? We're basically back to where that, if you've not seen this before, this is just the mini options index right here. It's very similar to SPY, except you pay futures rates on your profits. So any profits you make on XSP, it's just like trading SPX, except it's 1/10 the price. So take SPX, divide by 10, you get XSP right there. You can see we closed at 55.28 right there, and this closed at 552.89. So you just take off the 2, and that's right there. You got it. So this one matches very closely. If you're like, man, I wish I could trade SPX for the tax advantage, but it's just so much money to throw out there. XSP, baby. Right there, you can trade XSP. And you may look at the options and be like, wow, they're not very liquid. They're very liquid. They fill, even though it doesn't look like many people play them, they fill in a heartbeat. So, hey, Frank, thanks for becoming a channel supporter. That option is available down in the description if anybody wants to do that. Join me here and be a supporter. I'm going to throw out content that, some extra content. I already got some videos, or a video, and some posts, some pictures and stuff like that probably post some pictures of tacos. I think we're going for Taco Tuesday for the girl child's birthday. Svenborn's been to the restaurant we'll probably go to. Anyway, I don't see him on the chat. Dun, 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 dun. Well, there you go. Looking for support to hold here. If support doesn't hold here, next one down is that gap fill right there. If we don't hold that, well, that's where things get pretty sour. Can get very sour very quickly. Thanks, Frank. I really appreciate the support. I do. So I don't usually draw on XSP very often. But here's the situation. That was the daily support, right? We did the daily roadmap line bounce right there. We went up. I still expect we're going to get the extension. I mean, it's still highly likely we're going to do that. How likely? Like 73% likely. Yeah. Almost a statistical population there. So 73% likely we're going up. Well, that leaves 27% likely that we might fail. If we fail here, here's the target. I don't like to say this, but here's the target. Right there. Right below that low. That's the target. That's a lot of opportunity for downside. So the line in the sand at this point, probably 5,300 on SPX, 530 on XSP. We get below that, it's probably doing this. Probably. All right. So you can set alert at 530. You can set alert at 5,300. If we get below that, we're probably doing this. And you can see those numbers. So going back to the SPX, same situation. If we break below 5,300, probably doing this. That could be 5,450 is definitely a question mark. And then, you know, once we get below 5,300, there you go. But I did buy a 560. I did buy an XSP 561 call, or yeah, 561 call for 1 week out. Next Monday, I guess next Tuesday. Right there, 561. Just pop it right back up. All right. Any questions? I mean, it looks gnarly, man. Like I'm not even kidding. Not even joking around a little bit here. This looks pretty gnarly. So S5FI. Look at that drop. Right back in there. Rejected. Rejection. We were up here and we just crossed back below the 80. That's what the alert was that I got. NDFI, look how this one's done at 50 right now. How vastly different S5FI is compared to NDFI. Nasdaq stocks above their 50-day. And what's funny to me is it says Nasdaq 100, right? Nasdaq 100. How many stocks would you think were in a list of 100? 100? Maybe? I mean, logically, right? So how the devil is it 53.46% of 100 stocks? Riddle me that. How the devil are we 53.46% of 100 stocks? I don't have an answer, unless there's like, unless it's actually Nasdaq 99 or Nasdaq 101 or something like that, instead of actual Nasdaq 100. Anyway, Russell 2000, which is actually like Russell 1870 or something like that, hovering right in the middle. So these two are bang on the same, pretty much. The outlier, this one. And as long as we're above that 5,300 on SPX, we're probably due for popping up and hitting the upside target. That upside target still hanging right up here. I would not be shocked to see 5740 and not shocked to see 5800 right there. Yeah, ride or die. That's right, goose, right there. So SVXY has not recovered yet. And we'll get to requests in just a minute. So SVXY taking another double dip there. Maybe another opportunity. That might be a measured bounce, and we may go shooting out of there. Careful. Careful counting that one out. We had a measured bounce, and we go shooting right back up to the top very quickly. So anyway, let's hit a few more things, and then I'll take requests. So Nasdaq is looking pretty rough. Pretty rough indeed. Does this do a measured bounce? Now, here's the big question. Like, could this come back for a touch right in here? Right back in here. Does this touch and then go ripping off? Can it do it? Can it do it without NVIDIA? That's the question right there. Same darn question, right? I don't know. This one, look at those drops from earlier in August. That looks a lot like it. A lot like it. This is a cautionary tale, even though we've got the potential to go long. If this turns down and breaks below the roadmap line, this can be cruising on down. We could be talking 1800, 1700, 1600, 1400, 1300. Ouch! Ooh, man. Maybe even down to 1,000 on Russell. That would be really rough. That would be really, really rough. That'd be IWM back to 100-ish. I mean, whew, baby. That would be a rough pull right there. And watch out for that on... I just feel like I would be remiss if I didn't warn you on the downside potential of all these. It's not that I'm bearish. It's just that where can you be wrong, right? You could definitely be wrong in a lot of these cases. And I guess before I talk too much trades, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. You can lose money trading. Imagine that. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. That means I may never get it right again. That would kind of suck. And this presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. Did I take it on the chin today? Yeah, I did. So, follow me and lose money today. I'm sorry. If you got pitchforks, I'm right there with you. I lost money today. If you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not even telling you what button to push. Just sharing some stuff that works for me. It may not ever work again, which is going to suck, and I'll come up with something else. I'm sure, because that's what I do. Try to find stuff that works in the market and figure out ways to exploit it. So, there you go. When do you exit BTBT? It's up to you. Like, the trade will be over at the end of tomorrow. So, you could exit tomorrow or Thursday. Or you can, if it's already lost enough value, you just hold on and see what works. So, I don't usually answer specific trading service questions during the 30 minutes of awesome. There you go. All right, moving on. Hit a few more of these. So oil, look at that, potentially breaking out of the watermelon seed squeeze. Now, here's the deal: does it flip right back up tomorrow, or do we touch this? This resistance zone right here, or support zone right here, was a level I was watching from back here. That we may do this little correction right there, the 1272. That's where that oval comes from. This three-wave potential final flush right there. We may not, it may dip to that level and then rip the other way. That would be a pretty evil little pattern that could develop in the market. Definitely could. So I would watch for that dip a little bit lower, possibly down to the 66, 67 area, and then reverse strongly. That, to me, the market is very efficient at screwing the most number of people it possibly can at the same time. That's what I feel like we've got going on the S&P. We did a giant dip. I mean, just a month ago, we did a giant dip. We did this, got everybody stopped out of stuff. Then we do this big rip, and everybody's like, got FOMO. And then we just tried to rip everybody again. And that seems like, how does the market screw everybody? Just chopping in a giant freaking range. I mean, that's, in all honesty, that's kind of how it works, right? Like, how do you screw as many people as you possibly can? Do a 2% dip on a first day of the week, first day of the month, first trading day of the month. We haven't done a 2% dip on the first day of a month since 2020. All right, that was surprise. We're gonna rip everybody. Way to start out the month. Of course, we started out pretty good back here too. Although that wasn't a 2%. That was only a 1.5%. This was a 2%er over here. So anyway, I digress. Moving on. Brent looks a lot like CL. We can watch for that strong reversal there. I just have this feeling like it's going to be a fake out and they're going to rip it the other way. RB. That lowest gas price we've had wholesale. These are wholesale prices. Lowest gas prices we've had in quite a while. Tying the dip right back here in December. I don't see pump prices bleeding off that fast, but hey, way to screw everybody, right? Heating oil. And Laura, remember what I said, oil prices dip, incumbent gets reelected. Oil prices rip, might be the challenger. Heating oil, diesel. I know Rongamer is going to be excited if that shows up at the pump down to 220. Although we could find a bottom right in here. Could make an extension, but I'm thinking we're going to find a bottom. We could make it all the way down to $1.95, $1.99 area, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. I bet you double bottoms and we go ripping. That's what it looks like. Natural gas did a nice little bounce there on the contract rollover. Contract rolled, and we may break out. Watch that prior high. If we do that, it's probably game on. Rallying right up here to this $4 area on natural gas. GC. Are we going to dip and rip? Tried to break down. Got bought back up into the little tight range there. Back into the box. Basically. Little consolidation box we've been in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like 12 trading days now. Just kind of hanging out in that area. And gosh, man. Come on, do something. Oh, my mic's being... Mic gets pointed. Weird. All right. SI came back to the roadmap line. This was painful for me today. I have a number of contracts, future contracts, long, looking for long. SI, they went negative a little bit briefly today and then went right back into positive territory. They're down here. I have some credit spreads down here. That's going to hurt if it fails. I'm pretty bullish on this, getting some continuation higher. Not doing it yet. Not doing it yet. Glancing off the resistance, pulling back. I want to see that break on through. Go cruising up to 35. I'm probably 80% sure we're going up here. It's like 80-20. I would not have gotten as long as I am right now if I was not feeling pretty good about this one. Probably 80-20. And if we get above this right here, I'm going to be like 90-10. We can poke, if we bounce right here, break above this, like 90, maybe even 95. So I'm pretty bullish, and I'm out a ways on all of that. Dr. Copper, though, not the same story here at all. This might go down another move. One big flush, and everybody says copper doesn't move that fast. Look at that move right there. That was fast. That high right there, that low right there. Maybe like, well, it's not the same as it was back in July. The market actually bottomed in November. Late October. So look at that. If we just did the same thing, we could be right down there mid-October. Or if we hang out till mid-October, we could be down there pretty quickly. So if we started at mid-October, let's see, right there. Yeah, we could be down there. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a large market pullback before the election or around the election. Be careful. Wheat. Just, wow, look at that. What's their justification for food prices being so high? I mean, look, wheat was up here, wheat's down here. What the heck? What the heck? I don't think wheat-based stuff, bread and everything didn't come back down. Corn. Look at that. What's the justification for keeping corn prices, things based on corn? What's the justification? These are, like, that's most processed food right there between wheat and corn. What's the justification? Certainly not the input cost. Sugar? Look at that. Sugar beat down. Cattle coming down a little bit. Already doing the bubble pattern, right? Came up, consolidating, drop. Pork already come back down. Been on a downtrend. I mean, soybeans. That certainly doesn't make that doesn't make any sense either. It's all the new jobs, yeah. Like, food prices staying high doesn't make sense when you look at the input costs. They've all come back down. You say it's the labor costs? Okay. Yeah. Just shows you once inflation goes up, it doesn't come back down. Like, doesn't matter if food costs and stuff come back down. Doesn't matter a bit. Anyway, so Bitcoin has continued to suck it up right here under the roadmap line. Just continue to consolidate in a small, tight range. Been here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Not doing squat. Not doing squat. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess 7 days. Eighth day was the drop. I tell you, it's frustrating right there. ETH USD still looks like it needs one more flush. This move up, no enthusiasm. Looks like it needs one more dip to finish this up. Then we can get out of here. Maybe Bitcoin's waiting on Ethereum to finish it, move its consolidation up, and we can get the fudge out of here with everything. So all the charts are just kind of aligning, Maria. It makes me nervous. Like, I don't know if it's like gonna happen before the election or at the election or just after the election, but it's all like coming together. That time frame just looks like something's gonna happen. So yeah, crude and the incumbent right here. Like, this is, I keep talking about that. So we're out of the bottom. If this continues, if it gets continuation, if we don't just hold support here and we keep going down here and we continue down this path like this into the election time, which is right there. If we continue down that path, we do the watermelon seed squeeze breakout, we continue, get below 66, continue on down, the incumbent is likely to get reelected. Moves up in office, but gets reelected nonetheless. Now, if it's a fake out and we go this way, in a crazy rally, even if we just started on the rally up into here, I bet the incumbent loses and the challenger gets reelected. So, Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if they put it right back in the middle. Still a coin flip. So that's the. I think this is the chart to watch for the who's going to be president. I mean, call me crazy. Call me crazy. We'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Anyway. All right. So here's the deal. Time for requests. I'm going to do requests for at least 30 minutes. And I need you to type in all caps. Use full tickers. If you're going to request your crypto, use the full pair, like BTC USD, and give it to me in caps. If you make one request per person per request, wait for one, preferably two people to go before you make another request. Gives everybody a chance to get some requests done. If you've got a bullish or bearish bias, or want to give me context, please use complete sentences and write it out. I'll do my best to read it. And there's an incumbent getting reelected. You can say there's no incumbent president, but there's an incumbent being reelected. Just promoted in office. So anyway. Alrighty. It's like Apple first out of the gate. And so we've got the long here. We're holding above the 618. This looks ripe for this pop. Now I did liquidate on Friday to satisfy a potential margin issue. I'm still having continuing problems with my margin problems after getting stopped out there last month. Force closed. So I'm having to be very judicious on my capital allocation, try to keep enough capital in the account. So I did liquidate my call on Friday. And I may add back if it looks like we're going to bounce, but I may not. I still think the target is right up here. The entry was right back here, and we're right back down there again. So still the same potential right there. Now, the interesting thing on Apple, for anybody that's been and seen Wall Street IO or not seen Wall Street IO, if you use Hakanashis, usually we only do a 5 to 8 day set of green bars. So this was basically a double, what he calls a double cycle. We've done that quite a bit lately. So typically we only get 5 to 8 Hakanashi bars in a row. Like this was normal, then we get some red, then we go again. This was like a double cycle, and that move lower kind of spooked me. So we'll probably do between 1 to 3 red days, Hakanashi days, before we go back into a green cycle again. But it is bullish. So if you've never seen this trick before, it's the payday cycle. There's more to it than that. But you notice how it does these green cycles, then red, then green. You just wait for the couple days of green, then you get in. It usually lasts 5 to 8 days, but that's when it's in an up cycle. There's more to it to figure out when it's in an up cycle. It's a fascinating pattern that works. That's about the only great thing I learned from my time at Wall Street IO. Still consider Micah a friend. I back tested I was a beta tester of his current platform. At least I think it's still the current platform. Back to candle charts. That trade's probably played out for a couple days. It may go back into another cycle on Apple. GME. I don't know if I don't get the alerts for that system or anything. I just kind of keep an eye on that for my own benefit. It kind of lines up with a few things I do also. GME, right there, potential. So this was on the list for the week. We've got this pattern. We've got a smaller one right in there that probably worked out. A little baby one, yeah, right up to the resistance, and red. So imagine that. Looking at the bigger pattern right there. That 618 would set us up for 31. And then you've got the even bigger patterns. That one would set us up for ridiculous. And this one up here, absolutely ridiculous. And at this point, I'm not convinced we're going to do that because it looks like we're going lower. Not surprised me for this to keep on its path here. Been on a long-term path with a downtrend, occasional spikes. think this one played out, and we're just in the throes of coming back down to the bottom. That's GME for you in a nutshell. Oil beater and let's see, AAVE USD. It's trying. Look at how hard that's trying. It's trying. It's got that. If it breaks out above that, the resistance. Oh my goodness. Golly, what a chart. That's, you see the bubble pattern, right? Everybody see this? Never see it. It's basically what I was just talking about on GME. It's this pattern right here. This, you know, the proportions can be different, but it's very similar to this all the time. If I talk about the bubble pattern, it's right here. Consolidation. Drop back down. There you go. Now, this low does not always overlap this low. Sometimes it's, you know, we come up, we come back down, and it's a higher low. Doesn't always have to come back to this level right here. We can, but then sometimes like GME, it keeps bleeding off and does another spike, does another spike, you know, does another spike. Takes a while, sometimes. So, bubble patterns, be careful. This looks a lot like that bubble pattern right there. And there's the opportunity for it to break out and go. It has not made a lower low. It has made a higher low. As far as making a new all-time high, it looks very unlikely at this point in time. Very unlikely. We do have resistance probably right up. It'll be right there where those highs are. Right around that 230 area. If we can break that high from March and the high from last week, I guess. Watch for that resistance right there. If we can get above that, hey, anything crazy is possible. We could go to 1,000, but unlikely at the moment. Could. Unlikely. Snow. Haven't actually looked at this in a couple days. This is one of the technologies that is likely to turn around in a big way. Looks like we're going to go on down. There is the next downside target. We're below. We closed below the 786. We did that. We actually did that last Wednesday. Probably gonna go down there. I may add another share if we get down there. I've got one share already. Bought over here. May add another share. And that's snow for you. Looks like the downside is not complete yet. URA. Glanced off the roadmap line vicinity. Didn't even touch it. Vicinity. Gonna go for a deeper move. That low, that high. Somewhere around this 22 would be where I expect support. It's on the lower end of what I drew before. There for URA, FXI. There's a lot of interesting technologies in energy right now. Looking at there's this new, it's almost like a solar cell, but it directly produces hydrogen. Pretty cool. It's all sorts of technology. Then they have these, how do you call it? Perovskite. Current solar cells are silicone. It have been since like the 70s or 60s when they came up with them. There's a new, instead of using silicone, they figured out how to use something called perovskite. Except right now, perovskite has a very short half-life when it's exposed to ultraviolet. So, some cutting-edge research just figured out how to make it last 1,500 hours, which, do the math on, 5 hours a day of sunlight on average. That's not very many days. But, and what does it take to double that again? 3,000 hours, then double that again to 6,000 hours. Maybe 10x it to 15,000 hours. Then you start doubling it a little bit, double it a little bit. Add some stability to those crystals, or that, whatever it is, and that technology could way outperform, and it's like order of magnitude cheaper than producing silicone-based solar cells. That's pretty, to me, that's pretty fascinating. Anyway, FXI. China looking rough lately. Gonna have to break through this 618 level right here to go up to 30. Right now, it's not doing it. So resistance right there. As long as we're below it, watch out. Come back down to the bottom again. So here's the support level for now. Support, there's resistance, and the target up around 30, if we can break out. And Kava. Kava. Wow, that held up really good today, compared all things considered. Be careful. Hospitality is like, it's almost like, you know, for a number of months I was saying retail is a story of haves and have-nots. Hospitality is starting to swap places with retail, or maybe join retail. Consumers are getting stressed. Things that people were spending money on, all of a sudden, the low end has been very stressed for a while. Yes, my dad asked me, he's like, why is Walmart doing so good? And like Dollar General just took like the biggest whack in history or something like that. I was like, okay, so the low end has been stressed, and Dollar General reported that its core customer was stressed and pulling back further on their spending. Walmart, on the other hand, reported that they're seeing the higher end, you know, the people that don't normally, you know, the Target shoppers are starting to trade down and shop at Walmart. I was like, that's good news for Walmart. That's more consumers that have more discretionary money moving down to Walmart. And those people can potentially spend more money at Walmart, and it'll take a bit for them to move back up out of Walmart. Whereas the people at Dollar General, it's not like it's going to take a lot for people to trade down to Dollar General. So that's why you see like Dollar General's chart here doing that, and you see Walmart's chart doing that, and then you see Kava, good, bad, or ugly. It's kind of an uppity restaurant. I mean, I can't even pronounce half the stuff in their menu. Or I don't know what it is when I read it. Anyway, very specific customer. If that customer can no longer afford to eat there, I would be cautious on things like that. Seeing Yum returning to the roadmap line, has the potential to break out, but I don't know. Like, you're seeing this all over the place. McDonald's, lower high so far. It's set to break on out, but is that just a retrace and we go on down? Lots of things making me nervous. And then you see like Brinker International potentially going higher. Is that high-end customer still okay? Higher-end customer? I don't know. So, Kava, are they going to be okay? CMG. And to me, Kava and CMG kind of go after that same sort of market segment a little bit. Higher-end custom Mexican food. Tex-Mexy stuff. Burritos. I don't know. I digress. Just throwing out some ideas here. Things to think about. Coin. Yeah, crypto's not moving. Coin probably, like, that's pushing below the 786. Makes me really nervous. We may go a little bit deeper into my target zone there, possibly down to 150. Right there would be my guess. Low extension lower, right down there. That may, if Ethereum can get that final flush, Bitcoin can hold kind of steady, possibly even get a final flush itself. That'd be all, like, this would all kind of come together right there. Jackson Financial. Well, it did not get the extension higher yet. I would expect 92, possibly 96 on the upside there. Now, if it styles out right there, it looks like it did make them higher. Yeah, it did make a higher high. That could come right back down. If we break lower, watch out for a move lower in a big way. Could be extension right down here, possibly to 56. That'd be a ouch. That'd be pretty wild. AVGO, after their split, has not been performing very strongly. Filled the gap and then retrace, and highly likely we go retest this right there. Just like NVIDIA, highly likely we're going to retrace to right back down here. We could be in for one more day of ouch. Just saying. Just saying. Did AVGO, got that for y'all, and FTX, FedEx. Hadn't broken through that gap. A lot of these left a gap last month. We've come back up there and just stalled out right there. Some stuff pushed through like SPX, but some stuff like FedEx couldn't do it. We saw like all the semiconductor stuff. SOXX, it turned down. SOXL, turned down. USD, turned down. Yeah, these could extend lower. Be careful on all those. Let's see. Mora is just sitting there. Got the uptrend of lows from all the way back over here. That low, this low, holding that low. If we break it, we may come down here to possibly down to 10, 11 area. Yeah. They're in the 1050 to 1150 area. Maybe if we pop down in any kind of enthusiastic way. Hate to put it that way, but I don't know what else to say about it. Crypto's got me like kind of bummed out. If you missed yesterday, I did a crypto special. Went through a lot of crypto-based stuff yesterday. Why? I'm so concerned. XRP kind of retesting from the bottom here. Easily flush on down. Easily. And TD. Make sure that's the TD US version. And just sitting there, golly. Wow, what a chart, right? What a chart. Do you want to get involved in this? Sitting there at a 50% retrace. Bounced once, lower high. Bounced twice, lower high. Right down here will be the potential support. At this point, I mean, it could be the 618. It could be a 618 on the non-log mode. Could. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. Is it log mode or not log mode? 100 could be the upside. On log mode, could be even higher. 120, 130. Yeah. I don't know. Hard to guess on that one. That doesn't look like a reversal yet. Certainly not breaking these highs over here with enthusiasm. That would be the level to kind of watch right there around 66. If we do that, probably cruising on up here. If we don't do that, could go lower. Could even make a lower low. Yeah. That was a difficult chart. Cisco. Yeah, speaking of one, yeah, this. Anybody remember that? I know a few of you do. I saw a couple people in the chat there. That's the bubble pattern, right? Like that was the bubble pattern. Like, right there it is. On the monthly chart even. Just need to cool off. We're going higher again. See it, right? Cool off. Just and right back down. It's not, it didn't go lower. It came back to a baseline and then it hasn't even gotten close to making a new all-time high yet. That could be head and shoulders. Careful. Whew. That looks very... If you're wanting to watch these patterns, be careful right there. There he goes. Not a very good head and shoulders. That shoulder is really big compared to that head, but and be careful. On the daily charts, it's got a lot of stuff to work through. It's probably, if it breaks through that, probably go retest that high, maybe up to that high, but if we stay below that, watch out for a move lower on Cisco. Got stuck there for a minute. Sorry about that. Going through all the AXP. Oh, look at that. Beautiful move. Beautiful, right up to the target. If you rode that, that was it. 260. I'm not sure I expect any more. Maybe 264, maybe 276, maybe. That was it. That's the high probability move. Back to the roadmap line would be at some point in the future here. Would be what I would expect. And we can come in here, find support, and go again, but that was the high probability trade played out right to the target. Wasn't a giant move, but there you go. OKTA. Oopta. That's yikes. Support down here at the prior lows. Right over here. Back down around 67. Easily get back down there. And HD. Stuck at that resistance. If we can break through. 411. If we break down below this uptrend of lows, below the uptrend of lows, watch out for that dip down further, possibly 285 on the downside. That's the long and the short of it. Spooks. I am long Starbucks, looking for this continuation. I'm going to be bummed out if we break back below the roadmap line. So support of the roadmap line, down around 85, 86, 87, right in there. Resistance at 99 initially. Why 99? Because of that gap. It left this gap right over here. It filled it, but come back up and hit that. Gapped up to it, couldn't hold it. Go fill it back up in there. We can break through that. Probably coming up here, 120, 130, 140, 150, maybe on Starbucks. And maybe that does it in the face of all the other crap in the market. Of course, maybe that consumer's weak and Starbucks flushes, breaks down below the roadmap line. Be a bummer. CRM tried to break through, like that, filled the gap right there. Tried to break up and slam back down. Watch for support. Right that back down here at this low. We can hold it. Go again. Break above that. Probably coming up here. Break above that. That gap down. Yeah, it's got a gap down there and a gap down here. Break above this gap. 134 on the upside for CRM. Alrighty. And next up, we have BWIN, BWIN, Baldwin Insurance. Insurance seems to be rocking. Like, that was my pick of my bonus trade of the day was an insurance company play. Yeah, looks like 49 and 52 are the upside right there for BWIN. PYPL. Hit an upside target. Intermediate. So this move right here, this high, this low right there. We came up and tagged that 1272. Retracing that a little bit. Now if we can hold, we could go on up for the 1618, potentially up above 78, which would put us above this consolidation we had before this last big gap down. We're coming up right to that gap. And we gapped down, we came back up, and then we gapped down again. So we're right at that gap right now. If we can push up through it, that'd be really strong. I'm not sure we're going to. This was only like a 3-wave move up into this high right here. Makes me really nervous. Like this low, this move up, this retrace really deep. Puts extra resistance at that 77 area right there. Right there. Extra resistance right there that could result in another move down. Very unclear. It's not a very strong reversal yet on PayPal. Now, if we break through the 77, 78 area, upside targets, you know, we can go cruising. 90, 100, possibly even like a bigger move up, back up to the 123, got 100, 200. I mean, we got targets galore up here. Looks a lot like the bubble pattern though. Easy up, easy back down. And they have some, I guess you might say, regulatory headwinds. I don't know if you knew, Chase just went to battle against their 4-pay plan. You're not allowed to use Chase credit cards to use PayPal's or Affirm or any of the buy now, pay later places. Chase decided they're going to go after, JP Morgan decided they're going to do battle with them and ban them from using any of their credit card facilities for payments on the payment plans for the buy now, pay later. You didn't know that. I got an email about it over the weekend. WM bullish? Question mark? Yeah, maybe. Question mark? So here's the deal. Like that high, this low from a month ago, we can break above the gap down. Right there. Bullish. If we turn down here, break back below the roadmap line, bearish. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. Coin flippish. Till we can fill that gap. We still have potential to go down. And the market's open. I'm going to have to, there's 30 minutes of awesome. I'm going to have to go a little faster. Like I said, I'm supposed to go to Mexican restaurante. The Disney looks like we're headed down to 72. Hate to be bearish, but that's what it looks like. And DXCM, Dexcom, gnarly. Where's my target? We're just almost there. Holding that prior low. I'd really like to see one more flush. That would complete this whole move. With this move, it would bring a quality to the moves. Right there, you see how that, I was very sloppy, but that move down, repeat it right there. That would bring equality in the chart, an echo, if you will. Wrap that up, turn back higher, break back above the roadmap line. We can go higher, but so there may be further downside left on Dexcom. AMAT, AMAT. Get all the letters in the right order. That turned down. Next support down here, 150. Possibly even 130. If it can hold above this low, there's resistance on the upside. It's a big coin flip in this area. Big question mark coin flip. I don't know. Can go higher. So there's the upside resistance, downside support, and we turn down at the roadmap line. Bias down. But it's not guaranteed. I don't usually trade down, so even though I made my most money ever down, it has to be really, really good downside setup for me to put a bunch of money at risk. Because the downside just usually takes way longer than I think it should. And PDD. Bottom? Question mark. So far, if that holds, that can be a bottom. If it doesn't hold, here's the deal. That move down, that retrace. It's not going negative, so could be looking at 18. And I mean, we could have intermediate support over here, but that's a lower high so far. So that move, that move, that move. If we don't hold in here, could come right down here. That's what we got on PDD. Hate to say it for you. I already kind of hit McDonald's. Just not a lot cooking here. It has set up the move to 311. But if we fail and arc back down below the roadmap line, we could go down in a pretty big way. Like possibly back down to 200 area. Where this consolidation all happened. Definitely watch that. If we start turning down, watch for that breakdown. If we can push higher, I mean, we've already kind of confirmed we're potentially, I am biased long on that one. Just where could I be wrong? That breaks back down below the roadmap line. Watch out. But that's basically set up to go higher at this point. 311 is the target, possibly all the way up here to 334, based on the way it did the bounce. But be careful. 311 would be where I would definitely start protecting profit. Very aggressively protecting profit. VRT. VRTIV holdings. No, nothing. I mean, it's dip below the roadmap line. If it can break above this upside resistance there, 118. No confirmation of anything yet. Just sitting on the roadmap line. That can easily result in a lower low. MU. And right there. Remember, if anything I say is helpful, beneficial, give me a thumbs up on the video. Become a channel member. That'd be even more awesome. And that MU. Golly, man. So it has the measured bounce potential. It rallied up to the roadmap line and turned right back down, returning to the bottom. We've seen this before. Bud. Like this one. Rallied up to the roadmap line. And right back down. And down. And then popped up through. And then we're still back down in the same vicinity here. Just cannot break out and go. So it's very similar to MU. MU just started this though. Popped up. Held, return, maybe bounce a couple times, maybe try to break higher, maybe retest from the top side. We'll see. But this pattern does set it up for the potential to get a mega move. It just, how long might that take? 2026, 2027, 28, 29, 30. I don't know. It's got to prove it. Hadn't proved it yet. It turned down at resistance. So that's why I have not taken any positions. Turned down at resistance and came right back down to the bottom. Not awesome. Cats. Turn down at resistance. There's resistance. There's resistance. Turn down at resistance again. Last time it made a lower low. Came up shy of my ideal lower low low. And that was where this was an echo right there. So far, that's this could go even lower, maybe down to 273 or even a little lower than that. Definitely watch out for the roadmap line not holding right around 330. We get below that 330 area, probably coming on down to 290. If not, pushing on down. If we can break through this kind of triple trifecta of highs right there, that upside resistance, 393, possibly 400, possibly 435 on the upside for Caterpillar. DPZ. That was the one bright spot in my account today. Come on. I have a synthetic short share position. Synthetic shares. Short. Looking for this move. Why am I so enthusiastic? Look at this. It's an echo of this right here, basically. Really, 260, but if we get some extension on that, baby, on down a little bit. I've corrected these a couple times, and they keep moving right back. Let's click the save button, see if it'll stick this time. So looking forward to get down in this area. There, this. For that move, right down in there, maybe the extension, that 227, possibly even down to 200 area. You can see all my alerts. I've got tons of alerts. Just kind of expect a flush. Goes back to my story of weak consumer. It's set up on the chart for, and like this had a heck of a run. One heck of a run into this high. Yeah, move. I mean, that little correction would be nothing compared to that move right there. It could do a much bigger correction over a longer period of time. This may be just the first little move. It does a bigger correction down here, but not counting on it till for now. Right now, if we go to 200, my position will make like 50,000% return. My synthetic shares. It looks pretty good on the monthly so far. Just need a touch of the monthly roadmap line. Nothing crazy, right? Nothing crazy. Just a touch of the monthly. Came up shy there. Anyway, that's DPZ for you. Like I said, that was the one bright spot in my account. ARM. I went over this morning. Sitting on the roadmap line. That was 3 moves up. Likely to get a bigger, deeper retrace, at least fill the gap, if not get a lower low at some point down the line. We'll see what happens. Just not very optimistic on ARM right now. Doing much of anything. And Sony. Nice potential to get to 99, although it's having a little trouble breaking through that downtrend of highs. Dun, 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 dun. I connected up this one and this one. So maybe it's this one and this one. I don't know. That'd be right to the target though. This one. Watch for that. If we can break through, could go on up here. Possibly even on up here. So we need to get through that downtrend of highs right there. And URNM. Uranium spot. Well, that's a chart that looks like it's going lower low. Support down around 34. May go back down to 28. Easy as that. ALB is not making any kind of bottom so far. Let's watch for a double bottom. Or possibly even a push lower to 36. Maybe like that will hurt. Yeah, be careful. That definitely has downside potential to extend further to the downside. And DOCS stocks. Go, baby, go. Potential for that to go right on up here. I wonder where my alert went. I could swear I had an alert on this. Maybe I got out already. I got in on this measure bounce. That would be the target right up there. 42, 49 potential. We're kind of stalled out right at the 37 area. I kind of expect it to go a little higher. Possibly it can get all the way up into the 618 level 56, which would flip the odds. We could go on higher, possibly 137, possibly 171, but one level at a time. We got to get through this first, and we may retrace back to the roadmap line before we can bust on through. That's DOCS for you. And BA moved on down. Did not trigger my alert yet, though. Did not. Got this alert just below. Look at that. Just below my ideal level, 157 right there. Just below where we got to today. People are like, oh, Boeing's wrecked forever. The news was cracking me up today. So look at that. That 157 comes from this 618 fib line right there. I want to see that hold. Actually get touched and hold. That can set up the measured bounce set up for this much bigger move, potentially up to 600 in the coming years. Maybe 27, 28, 29, 30. Maybe a while. Maybe a long while. This move took a while. Back here in 22, May of 22, up here to the high in December of 23. Then we had a correction, 618 retrace. And we look for that move next. That's Boeing for you. Nothing changed. Nothing's going to change for like a long time on that chart, probably. And let's see. Walmart. Already kind of briefly touched on Walmart, but there's the upside potential right there. Just echoing a prior move right there at 80 for Walmart. And Z-scaler has done nothing to indicate we're going higher. Maybe we could get up to this 218 area, but it's rejecting so far. Might go lower. 115 area. Post market. Looks like we're going down. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me to be down here very quickly on Z-scaler. And Google. I like the one with the L. It charts better. For whatever reason. Sitting at the support. If we break it, could come down here. So here's your support. If we start getting below that gap right there, watch for that area right there. We can break above the resistance up here at 178, 197, 202, 217 would be the upside for the next move. On Google, SMCI, nothing changed. SMCI, we're still looking for downside. Just glance at the top of my target. I'm still expecting this to return back to the 250 area. If not, on down to the 100 area down here. It's been the target. I drew the target all the way back here. When we were at 9, we're like 8 or 900 before we spiked up to 1200. It's the bubble pattern right there. Probably going to finish flushing on down. 250 at least. 250, 300. It's ballpark numbers. How long? It could take months. It could take until next year. I don't know. DKNG. Do I think it's going higher again? Probably not. DKNG found support there. Found resistance at the roadmap line. May come on down. Back down this 18 area. Typically, well, looks like we did. There's like a seasonality to it where it rallies kind of. Usually we rally into sports season and then pull back and rally again after the first of the year, but that has been pulling back in a foosball season here. I don't know. Could do something different this year. So far, it's a lower high. Is it that stressed consumer? I don't know. And AXP already did. RRR. If you missed it, bar's right down here. You just pull it back, find the ticker. RRR, Red Rocks. That's lower highs. Watch out for the dip. Hospitality. Seeing a little stress there. DSGX. And Descartes. That looks like we set up the potential to go up to 106, 108, possibly 113. Did a little sloppy. Yep. Still below that prior high, though. The confirmation we'll probably do it would be a break above that level right there. Got to get above that high. Unfortunately, the way that built it up in there, it creates a resistance right there. We're just parked, consolidating right underneath it. Right underneath it. And let's see, AIG from this morning, nothing changed. And go chart go. Try again. Go chart go. There we go. Yeah, nothing changed for this morning. Same target, same everything. If you missed it, go watch the video from this morning right at the end. It was right at the end. Last 5 minutes. PCG. That was the pick of the day, the bonus trade of the day. PCG right up to the targets. That can be done. Any point here. 21 would be my highest. I would really expect possibly 22.50. If it's going to be really sparky. That's basically done for now. I would expect a retrace after this on PCG PayX. $136, $140 on the upside there. Resistance for paychecks. 5 below has been dropping out like a ton of bricks. Potential for that to have a bottom here, but if you can't hold it, watch for the push lower. Can easily drop down to 38. Ping ponging. That may ping pong right on down there. Yum. Touched on briefly. Has the opportunity to go up to 146, 148, 155, but if we turn down here, we could go lower. That move, that move, that move, and that would be the support area right there. Down around 117. If it fails here at the roadmap line, which it closed below, be another 20 points down. Be careful on Yum. AMD, know where you're wrong. Like, it's not about, it's not being wrong that costs you big money. Staying wrong in the market. That turned down the roadmap line. Going right according to plan. Drew that arrow and that arrow when we did this. Doing it exactly. There's the support. It's been there since, gosh darn, I don't even remember when I drew that. Maybe even January, February, maybe. I drew that before we even got this high up here. This area has been here for a long time. It just solidified as we made this high at 225. Highly likely we see this move back down into this 95 area right in here. That's AMD, nothing changed. And Avalanche, AVX USD, nothing changed. There's the support, there's the resistance, nothing changed. If we break down below that, we're going down probably. If we break above it, we come up to the next resistance. And the next resistance, and the next resistance. And if we can get some sort of strength going, 216 to 309, we start breaking down below this low, it could easily come down to big downside potential, like 47 cents. That would be sucky, but that's the kind of potential we have right there. And yeah, you're welcome, everybody. Ollie's OLI. And losing the crowd, so I'm going to wrap it up here in a minute. Ollie's sitting back on the roadmap line, rejected, didn't go fully lower yet. What do they say? Great stuff, cheap. My dad loves this store. Big Lots might go out of business. And I guess these guys are the modern Big Lots. 107 if they can hold it and bounce. Right now, that's the upside. Probably extend a little higher if they go a little deeper. That's what we got right now for Ollie's. And you're welcome. Dun, dun, dun. IBM. Yeah, just touched the target right there, 205, 204.50. Potential to go 209, but that's played out at this point. Watch out for the retrace back to the roadmap line. Set up another one. And it can ping pong around a little bit, get on up 209, possibly 220, but played out on the upside for now. I'd be protecting against the downside move if I were you. All right, yeah. All right, ton coin. Looks like we may go down in a blaze of glory. That's yikes. That move down, that retrace. That would look like support for me on ton coin right there. And Tesla, right here. We're stuck between support and resistance. Has been for a number of days. Nothing has changed. I even went over this morning. Nothing changed. There's resistance, there's support. Whichever one breaks, we can go down to further support or go up to bigger resistance. Stuck in between. Resistance, support, resistance, support. How long can we do it? Got me. All right. I'm going to go to my daughter's birthday. I'll be back. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 tomorrow morning. Set your alarm. Be back going through what's moving for the day. Hopefully we got a better day tomorrow. Hopefully. I guess the future's restarted. We're down a little bit, 6 points, a little bit of red. See how that changes in the morning. Not really much. There's virtually no financial news this week. Got Joel's job openings at 10 in the morning. Nothing really pre-market. So don't expect no fireworks pre-market really. So, all right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning.